I'm Lana Ray with Visionelli for Life, and of course, we discuss things that have to do with our nation, and I post educational and research items on my website, visionalityforlife.com. This session is a brief overview of the Act of 1871. Many of you may have heard about it. You may think it's some type of a conspiracy theory. The only thing about that is that I actually have the 41st Congress, the actual records from Congress from that time of February 21st, 1871. And it says on here that this is an act of Congress to provide a government for the District of Columbia. Okay, so the first question is, we're talking about 1871. Back in 1776, we had our Constitution, we the people, and we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Okay, and in the Constitution, if you keep reading on, and there's a link to this on my website, visionalityforlife.com, it lays out the government. It lays out the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislature branch of government. So why did Congress feel the need to establish in 1871 a government? Now, when you read this, 41st Congress, Session 3, Chapter 61, 62, if you want to go out on, I think it's the loc.gov, Congress, you can find this document. But I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to briefly outline and give you just an introduction on it. It's really important because this could be what is happening today. This is linked directly to a lot of things that could be potentially in the works today to eliminate this. And I want to explain to you what's been happening. In this Act of 1871, it's an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia. And the District of Columbia is a 10-mile radius piece of land. We know it as being Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. It's not a state. It's a territory that was supposed to remain separate from the states of America. And in here it says, be it enacted by the Senate and the House of Representatives of the United States of America and Congress assembled, that all that part of the territory of the United States included within the limits of the District of Columbia be and same as hereby created into a government by the name of District of Columbia, by which name it is hereby constituted a body corporate for municipal purposes. A body corporate for municipal purposes. And may contract and be contracted with, sue and be sued, plead and be impleaded, have a seal, and exercise all other powers of a municipal corporation. A municipal corporation. not inconsistent with the Constitution and laws of the United States and the provisions of the Act. And then it continues on that the executive power and authority in and over said District of Columbia shall be invested in a governor, who shall be appointed by the president. And it goes on and on. They're going to set up a council and a House of Delegates, all these things, which that might get into another session. But they're laying out a government. They're going to have for the District of Columbia. Now, why would we do this? And why have we not known about it? This is different than our Constitution for the United States of America. And I wanted to put this side by side so you would see that in our Constitution, where we the people run this whole nation, and we select a president. And back then, in the beginning of the Constitution, people would run, men would run, at that time it was men running for president, and 5 or 6 men might run, and they would all give their presentation, they would all say what they would do, and then you would pick one, and they had electors. All of that's in here about how the electoral process operates, how the Congress, how the legislature, all of that by the states, how that all operates. We have it all right here. And we do have some amendments that were needed. We have the Bill of Rights, which we'll go into in another video. But we have the executive, judicial, and legislature branches. For we the people, we ordained and established this, which means these people work for us. These people work for we the people, because it's our nation. You got to get that. We all need to get this. I just recently got it. So wake up, everybody. This is really important because of what we're seeing today in the nation and up in Washington, D.C. And I'm going to tell you why some of this is happening, because this explains it. The Act of 1871. Now, here's what, just briefly, that this act is doing. It's for the District of Columbia, which we call Washington, D.C. Somebody set up a municipal corporation. They made this a corporation, which means it's different than this. A municipal corporation is setting up a business. They set up a business called District of Columbia. Now, I don't know what the name is. I've heard different people speak on this, and some say, and it's because of the way it's worded here, and let me read this to you. It talks about, whenever someone is put into these offices of like president, or it's not really a president, it's actually a CEO, because it's a company. But they're saying, I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. This is the terminology. I will support the Constitution of the United States. It didn't say of America, and it didn't say for. Our Constitution says that it calls it ordaining and establishing this Constitution for the United States of America. Well, this one is saying of the United States. A little bit different. Does it matter? I don't know, but it might, because it's legal explanation and words. So with a company they're setting up a government for a municipal corporation. Okay, so this would be like a bylaw. They'd be setting up bylaws. if you've ever started a company and you set up an articles of incorporation, somebody did that. Now, I've searched around and I've found a lot of the states that set up a company. And that company is called United States Corporation Company. And all the states, I think I found out of 50 states, there's like 2 or 3, I couldn't find it on it. But I've got printouts of some of them, the Articles of Incorporation, and like New York did it back in 1902. They set up a United States Corporation Company, and there were lawyers in New York that are your board of directors on this. And the interesting thing about it is when I pull up a lot of the other states and I type in to find the business entity, United States Corporation Company, every one of the states has one of these. And it's the same New York attorneys. Anyway, I'm building a chart, and as soon as I get that done, I will put that on my website to show you what states when they formed a company. So the idea behind this is it's like District of Columbia was a municipal corporation, and then all the states became franchise off of that corporation called United States Corporation Company. And with a company, they're supporting the Constitution of the United States. They're supporting this document where they set up a government or like a bylaw. And it lays out everything, how it's going to operate, a governor and secretary, delegates, setting up a board of public works. See, this is set up under this company, a board of public works. Think of all your 3-letter agencies that we have up in Washington. Powers and duties for streets and sewers, contracts, charters. This is where they did something different with the charters of Washington and Georgetown shall be repealed on and after the first day of June, 1871. So in a municipal corporation, you would have your CEO, which would be like a president of a corporation. How interchangeably you would say that term. They would have a board of directors in a company. And then you would have managers, supervisors, managers, and then you'd have employees, the people that worked, the people that you paid to work for you. I don't know if you're getting the picture yet, but this is from 1871. This is the time the president was Ulysses S. Grant. He was the president during that time frame. Now, I can't find a document, the actual Articles of Incorporation on DC. I've tried to get into it. I can't get into to see that document. And maybe that document is not for public appearance. Probably not. You know, here again, we've heard a lot of things. We've heard that when a new president goes into office, there's a lot of surprises that he, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of confidential information that he receives. Well, maybe this is one of them. Maybe that document is a part of that. Oh, by the way, you need to know about this. Because in 1871, well, actually in 1776 and on, everyone was under the Constitution for the United States of America. And you had a president and a vice, and then these branches of government. and everything would have operated. And then the Bill of Rights came with the next amendments to the Constitution. And all of this would have been going on. And then in 1871, when this came in by Congress, because Congress approved this, and to be honest, this was illegal. This would have been illegal to do something that would set up a corporation and then start getting all the states formed as a franchise to the corporation. There's no need for that. And it actually, it almost looks like from this point in time, Congress started operating under this, where they decide what's going on for the people. And we're down here, we're actually employees of a corporation, which you know everybody's got a birth certificate, and you know that those birth certificates go to the government. They're assigned a number. If you've looked at your birth certificate, it's all been assigned a number. It's so that they can acknowledge you as a citizen of the United States. You can be verified that you're a citizen. It has merit to it, but it's kind of an interesting thing that everything's tied. I mean, we have a number with the government. Everything we do, we pay taxes to the government. Do you know that under the Constitution, we're the ones that own the nation? We're not supposed to be paying taxes. Not like this, not for how we work. We could pay sales tax, but payroll deductions, IRS, the IRS was a way to collect taxes from we the people. Okay, so we're down here at the bottom over here. We're at the top over here under the Constitution. Something's wrong. I'm going to leave you with just this part of it, because in the next one, I want to talk a little bit about how that affects what's going on today, because something is going on, and you're seeing Congress coming down. It's coming down from the way we know it. So I will get back with you in the second part of this so that we can have more understanding. You can do your own research. And I just want to say, throw out conspiracy theories at this point, because what we're seeing in some of the things that Congress and leaders up in this District of Columbia in our nation, the things that they're wanting to do is unbelievable. I would have thought it was a conspiracy theory a year ago or 2 years ago. Throw it all out of the water, because we don't really know at this point what's real and what's not. You can't go by the media. You can't go by what the media is saying right now. So I will get back with you in the next session.